There have been some interesting things coming out of the Bayern Munich camp. Thomas Tuchel apparently not too happy with the squad that he's got. Speaking after the 2-1 win over Borussia Mönchengladbach, the coach said the squad is a bit thin, a bit small. So let's remind you of the ins and outs at Bayern this summer. Obviously the big names coming in, Harry Kane and Min-Jae, really good defender, brilliant goal scorer. Let's welcome in Frank Leboeuf and Aage Fjortoft to talk more about this. And Jan, I need to start with you because apparently these comments haven't gone down too well with the hierarchy at Bayern.
No, and I guess we have to remind people that FC Bayern is called FC Hollywood. And this is a soap opera, like always. Now, Tuchel and Bayern wanted a number 9. They got that. Tuchel then wanted a number 6. Palhinha, they nearly got him on Friday, but he had to go home after done 2 medicals and all the photo sessions. And not only did Tuchel said that this weekend, but he also said we have a gutsy squad composition. That what they put together there, he is very critical to that. But I must say that this transfer committee at Bayern, the Magic 7, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, Uli Hoeneß back in the business, haven't been out for it for a while, coming back there, and kind of, I don't say they're provocating him, but when the CEO Dresden says this week in a TV show, he said, well, Tuchel just have to be creative then with his squad. He says that I don't have a number 6. Joshua Kimmich says, I am a number 6. Then we have it going. But I think that the transfer window ended bad with the Palhinha thing. But when you get the best defender, I will say with Kim, one of the best defender in Europe, you get the England team captain, number 9. It's not that bad, is it? I mean, please, Mr. Tuchel, sometimes you have to see, you nearly got everything you wished for.
Nearly. Obviously, it's not that bad with those big names, but can you call it a thin squad?
It's like coming down on Christmas morning and you didn't quite get all your presents. What are you going to do? Cry at your parents about it? Or do what? I was always happy. You know, you've got to look happy and delighted with what you got. Come on, I looked at the bench there, what he had at the weekend, it wasn't bad. Nothing's ever perfect for a manager, but Jan just rolled it all out there. They got the best defender who was voted best defender in Italy, and that takes some doing, as we know. And arguably one of the top 3 strikers in elite European football. And by the way, a transfer record for Bayern Munich, I believe. So they really pushed the boat out to get, he could easily have been sat here now moaning and groaning without a Harry Kane, and Harry Kane could have been Daniel Levied and still at Tottenham, and he could have been left high and dry, although he's got Choupo-Moting, who did a good job last year. So, yeah, it's not perfect, but guess what it is for Thomas Tuchel? It's get on with it time. It is get on with it time. I've said this long and hard. He came in last year to some fanfare off the back of Nagelsmann. He was going to beat Man City, not him, this is not his words, but Tuchel coming in, it was going to answer the questions about how they're going to play against Man City. It was going to steamroller Dortmund and they were going to be flying and the Bundesliga was going to be a canter. None of those happened. They did not play well. They absolutely fell over the line when Dortmund fell at the last hurdle. They've gone out, they've strengthened the back, they've strengthened the forward line. Now it's down to him to do the job. Simple as that.
The honorary president, Uli Hoeneß, has actually played things down a little bit. Let's hear what he had to say. This is what he said with regards to it. He said, that's just a ploy to divide us. That's obviously the outside talk of this. You can have different opinions. It's always been the case before. That doesn't mean we'd stop talking to each other or appreciating each other. So obviously they're talking about it being a ploy to divide us. But, Frank, we've seen signs of Tuchel at Chelsea with disagreements over transfers with the boards.
Yeah, and that's a problem for me because, I mean, I still highly rank Thomas Tuchel as a coach, but I think, and somebody said that before, you are a good coach when you know how to be creative with the players you have at your disposal. And I think the amount of players that he had and the squad that he had in hands should be enough to be happy and to be creative enough to do something great this season. And complaining publicly doesn't help. And he likes to do that. He likes to put the pressure out of himself, which is, I don't think is the right positioning. He should take all the pressure, say, okay, thank you the club for Kim, thank you for Kane. You know, now I've got a big squad. I mean, he has Goretzka and Kimmich in the middle of the park, which are, I think, one of the two best midfielders in the world. So how do you want to complain about that? The squad is big, the squad is competitive, so just do your job. You know, the world is not perfect. As Craig said, it's not every day Christmas. So just do your work, be creative, try to make something work, and it's going to be better. And stop talking publicly. Just do your job.
He doesn't see them as number sixes, though, Jan.
No, he doesn't. So what he's saying is that when he doesn't have that number six, that holding midfielder that he wanted, Palhinha, he was very close to that. He nearly got all he wished for Christmas, if we were going to use that metaphor tonight. And he got that. But what he's saying is that because he doesn't have the number six, he has to play with Goretzka and Kimmich together, which take away one place for an offensive player. Then he has to leave Musiala out, or Müller out, or Gnabry, or Koeman, and so on and so on. But the thing is with Bayern as well, they also have Konrad Laimer. Remember when they signed him for a free from RB Leipzig, they said he was the gegenpressing machine. So this is a guy who should win everything. So Uli Hoeneß then, he has the courage, and he always have the courage to say, I thought Konrad Laimer could play as a number six. And then Tuchel said, yeah, but what about the right back? Oh, I thought Konrad Laimer could play right back as well. So this is what he's doing all the time at Bayern. But Uli Hoeneß is, of course, right. This is Bayern. This is what Bayern do. This is a part of their DNA. They are fighting. And Thomas Tuchel, after Kane was fired, after Salihamidzic was fired, his position, his strength or power at Bayern went up. So he's trying to take advantage of that. I know the old guard say, listen, you're the coach. Try to sort out with the squad you're having, or be creative, as the CEO, as I said to him.
So we tell you what, it's been one weird summer here. As we sat here now, for the last few days, we've piped on about the Saudi Arabian transfer window closing, and now we have the mighty Bayern Munich. It appears the pack of cards that is Bayern Munich may collapse because they didn't get a player from Fulham. I mean, what kind of planet are we on? As good a player as Palhinha is, I think he's a good player. Bayern Munich are upset. They never got a player from Fulham, and it's all going to fold. I mean, come on. This is, managers have moaned over the years. He wants to go back and manage 20 or 30 years ago, right? Then we'll give him something to moan about. I mean, he's lucky. He came off that Chelsea job, right? It was a big job. He wasn't brilliant, by the way, at Chelsea. Yes, they won the Champions League, but the rest of it wasn't, I don't think it was brilliant. Stumbles on the Bayern Munich job because some people didn't fancy Nagelsmann and didn't think this was the project that they were quite looking for in the end, and it wasn't going the way they wanted. And he walks into one of the best jobs on the planet. Oh, come on.
But you've said on the show that you think Harry Kane's going to be the one to bail them out this season anyway.
How far that will take them? I mean, I think it will take them to another Bundesliga. That's I think, would be hard to argue that. But the big question then is on the European front. How much will that make up for any deficiencies that Bayern Munich may have going forward? That's the big question.
Well, talking about the European front, Frank, they are second favourites. Are they the second best team in Europe for you?
I would say so. I think with the signing of Kim and Kane, they got better. It's what they were lacking in terms of players and quality last season, for sure. I still see Manchester City better than anybody else. But after, with the injuries that Real Madrid went through with some crucial players, I don't see any other teams in the list that you were showing that can be competing with Bayern Munich and, of course, Manchester City. let's say, so far the runner-up in that list, and it's only fair.
Do you agree, Jan?
Well, you could say Real Madrid or FC Bellingham could be up there. But the interesting thing is when it comes to who will win the Champions League, then we talk in March, April next year, which team will be best there. We always think that the best teams that will go through the group stage. Then you got another transfer window. Maybe Tuchel has got this Fulham player that he is so loved to get. So, yeah, I think it would be good. But I think that young Musiala is very decisive for them because they need that little extra. Gnabry, Coman, Leroy Sané playing very well at the moment, so they have so many options. But I think you need that edge. But listen, Harry Kane is coming to a club that went out of Villarreal and Manchester City last season. That is not good enough for Bayern. The standard for Bayern to win the cup, to win the league, that is milk and bread. And they did just got bread sent from Dortmund last season, and milk they had no chance to do, and out of the Champions League. So they need to do better this season. But let's see how we develop. To say the favourites now is based on a transfer window, and Tuchel wasn't very happy with that. So, but for the best defender and the best attack, I guess he got a good basic for a great season of Bayern.